Hey everyone, I am Beth Miller. I am a marriage and infidelity coach, and I want to welcome you to today's training. We will be going through the truth and the myths behind can a marriage be saved after infidelity. So this is a great one. You're going to want to jump in. It's not going to be hours long. I'm going to get to the nitty gritty. If you know my style, I just want to get to it. The facts, I don't want all the fluff. So we're going to get right into it. So I want you to leave today with the clarity. I want you to leave with the clarity of, can my marriage be saved? I'm going to give you a bunch of points, probably about 5. And within that, you'll have the clarity on what to do next. So with that said, I'm going to be going live every Monday, and I'd love your input. I want to know what types of questions you want me to answer on these trainings, if you have any topics, themes. So feel free to DM those to me or feel free to type them below, and we will continue to do this every single Monday. So with that said, can a marriage be saved after infidelity? Infidelity is horrible. Cheating is horrible. The affair is horrible because what it does is it makes you question your life. It potentially puts your life in a position where what is next? It takes everything down to this moment. It makes it very fragile. Looking to tomorrow, the next day, the next day. It's very difficult, which then brings in tons of emotions like fear. It rocks the foundation. It destroys emotional intimacy. Trust is completely cracked. And so everything you knew is then gone. And so can you save a marriage after this hurricane, this tsunami, this earthquake that then hits your marriage? So the aftermath can then arise many questions. Many questions can arise from this aftermath. Like number 1, like we just said, can it be saved? Can it ever go back to normal? Like, can it ever go back to the way it was? Can I even heal from it? Can you heal the trust? Can you then create that intimacy again? Can that ever be even repaired? Which is all components of can a marriage be saved? So I'm just gonna keep looking down. I have lots of notes, and like I said, I don't want the fluff. I just want to get to the point. So this brings us to the first part. The first part is can a marriage be saved? Is we have to identify the problem. And the problem isn't just infidelity. Can I heal this? There's tons of multiple little problems within this big one. So you need to identify the problem, but then we also need to do one other thing, which I'll get to in a second. So what is the problem? So we need to break it all down. And if you have a journal, or if you want, just feel free to comment below. Comment and let me know what your biggest struggle is. Is it your thoughts? Is that what the number 1 thing is? Is it the thoughts of I can't trust? Is it going to happen again? Where is he? What's he doing? Or is the biggest battle him? He's not doing anything. He just says he wants to work on things. He wants to save the marriage, but I don't see any difference in his actions. What are the biggest troubles? Is it the communication? Is it your emotions? You're just on a roller coaster all day long. Are you attached to him and what he's doing? Do you have these expectations? Do you have this perceived notion of his potential that he's not meeting versus seeing him for who he is right now? So what are the problems right now that are blocking you from being able to save your marriage? So I want you to jot those down. Get a pen, get a journal, or put them in the chat here. What are the biggest problems that you're struggling with? What's blocking you from being able to save your marriage? And then once we've identified the problem, we actually also need to figure out what's the reason for saving your marriage. So can a marriage be saved? Sure, we can see all the problems. Marriage can't be saved because of this, 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 and this. But what are the reasons why you even want to? And that's where we want to put our focus. What we focus on is what kind of persists within us. What we focus is what we create in our lives. So if we're focusing on problems, and outside the marriage, we know this. If you're focusing on problems with your kids, problems at work, that's where your head goes. So we want to do the same with your marriage. We don't want to focus on just the problems. We want to be able to focus on why you want it. So can a marriage be saved? You know what? Sure, here are all the problems, but also what are the reasons? Why do I even want to save it? So getting really clear on your why. Why do you want to make this happen? Is it for your family, your kids? Is it because of money? Is it because of the shared memories, the life you created? Or is there even more to it? You love him. He's your best friend. He makes you laugh. He's always been your rock. Is that why we're also saving it? Because of the union between the two of you? And yes, but I often hear with wives, they're but our family, we have to keep it together, but I want to take it even deeper. What within your family are you trying to save? What within your relationship with him are you trying to save? And of course, there's always the life pieces, the house, the travel, all the lovely things that you do together that we want to be able to keep that lifestyle consistent. So, all right, can a marriage be saved? We have recap, identify the problem. What is the problem? But then also we want to identify the reason why. So then number 2, do you want to fix it? That's another big question. Do you want to fix it? Scale of 1 to 10. 10, I want to fix it. 0, I'm totally out. You can't pick 5. Scale of 1 to 10, do you want to fix it? And if you were anywhere in the kind of It would even take 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It means you're on the positive side. And it may fluctuate day to day. Some days you may be a 10 out of 10. Other days you may be that 5. Sometimes you might even fluctuate right down to that 1. I'm out, I'm done. But that's where we have to get off that roller coaster of the up and the down. Some days wanting in and other days not wanting in. So where are you on that scale? Scale of 1 to 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, you want to save the marriage. So that means you want to give it another go. And there we go. Can a marriage be saved? Check. I'm ready to give it one more go. And that's what we distill it down to. We need to keep it really simple, because when we start to overanalyze things, that's when it gets really messy and clouded. And the way I work, if you know my system, all that matters is what is the emotion, what is the thought. That's all we need to know. All that other like garbage, all that other stuff that's floating around, the ups and downs, we don't need that. We need to know, what is the problem? Do you want to save it? What are the reasons for saving it? And if you're like, yep, I want to give it another go, that's where we put our energy. I am right now, today, giving it another try. You just wake up every day. Today, I'm still working on my marriage. Today is the day. Because we'll get into this other one a little bit later, but when we start looking back and forward, that's going to keep us from saving our marriage as well. So, can a marriage be saved after infidelity? Number 1, we got to identify the problem. What is the reason for also saving the marriage? And number 2, are you willing to give it another try? So if you are willing to fix it, willing to give it another try, the next thing is you have to take responsibility. Because can it be saved? Someone has to take responsibility for it. And the best spot to start is actually with you. What is your responsibility in this? Yes, he did this to you. So I know a lot of wives that I work with, they're like, he should be bowing down to me. He should be doing everything possible. He needs to say the right things, do the right things. He should be kissing the ground I walk on. And yes, that would be amazing. And sometimes, not very often, I do see a husband doing that. Most of the time, it is actually the opposite, because they're busy breaking their own behaviors. They're dealing with their own shame, their guilt, their anger. They're like trying to reopen their heart and grieve a relationship that they are letting go, whether it's emotional or physical. There's a lot of complex emotions in them too, so it's hard for them just to be fully open, to be like, yes, I'm doing everything possible from a clear place of feeling their authentic self. They have a lot of baggage that they're then dealing with, which makes it hard to also focus on you, which really sucks. So what we have to do here is decide who's going to take responsibility. And ideally, both of you really do need to take responsibility, just depending on the capacity. What is his capacity to take responsibility right now? What is your capacity? So in regards to taking responsibility, I want you to get your journal out or comment below. When you're taking responsibility, what is blocking you right now from really saving your marriage? So you want to save your marriage, but what's blocking you from doing it? So it's hard to take responsibility if we have blocks for it. So I want you to journal out what's blocking you, what's keeping you stuck in certain patterns. And some of the answers to this stuff could be, could simply be just the emotions that you're feeling, right? Like what's blocking you from really taking the responsibility? Like, I don't want to work on this. I'm angry. I'm resentful. You did this to me. Why would I be the one having to take the responsibility to fix it? That could be blocking you right there. Yeah, I want my marriage, but I'm not taking the responsibility to fix it because I'm so angry. So it could be emotions in the way. It could be deep sadness, like just feeling depressed, having trouble getting out of bed, not wanting to put in the effort because it's just so sad. And those are normal emotions. I'm not saying you need to wake up out of bed and be like, I'm fixing my marriage today with a big smile on your face. No, we have to love ourselves for the emotions that we're feeling. Like, it's almost like you're a parent and the feelings are this child, and you just need to rock them and be like, it's okay. It's okay that you feel all this pain right now. And we want to, like, it's inner child work is what we're doing, but it's not actually a child, but it's just those feelings, loving yourself. It's like the inner talk that you have, the inner voice within. It's okay. We'll get through this. Today we choose our marriage. Just distill it down to that simple message. Today we choose our marriage. It's okay that you feel sad. It's okay that you feel angry. It's okay that you feel resentful. I feel those feelings. But what I need to do is release those, because they are blocking my ability to take responsibility for really fixing my marriage. Someone has to do it. I want it, and I have another try in me. So from there, we need to find the strategies, which we'll talk a little bit later, to try and really release that anger, that resentment, those feelings. So what else is blocking you? Is it beliefs about yourself? It could be blocking, like, I don't feel like I'm enough. I don't feel worthy. I don't feel safe to open up. Beliefs of I can't trust. That could be blocking it right there. I can't take responsibility to fix this marriage because I just can't trust. I don't know. And that keeps taking you out. Other things that we can do that are blocking us from wanting to save our marriage, and not even wanting, we want to save it, but from able to take action to start saving our marriage, could be the communication style. Number 1, you want to talk to your husband. You want him to open up. How are you timing that? Are you just coming to him and saying, hey, how are you feeling today? Or can you answer this question? Are you still talking to her on the phone? So we got to figure out timing. Are you just kind of, I don't want to use the word bombarding, but are you just like starting the conversation? Or has there been some lead up to it? Hey, I have a couple questions. Is now a good time? Is it okay if we chat a little bit later? I want to ask you a question about this. I just want you to think about it now so that we can have a productive conversation later. So how's the timing? when it comes to communication. What is your style? Are you very passive, like nervous to say things? Are you shutting down? Are you keeping things in, or is it very aggressive? Or you start very calm and then it goes sideways and you're like in an argument. And that could be blocking you too, right? Because that's the emotions that we need to get rid of, the anger, the sadness. Is it your thoughts? Like you're just on a what do we call it? A hamster wheel, right? You're just on a hamster with all the thoughts. So we just got to figure out what's blocking you from being able to take responsibility and do your part within this. And behaviors, of course, which we just kind of said, that kind of going into that fight that you're doing really well and then you're off to the hamster wheel and then getting into an argument. Are you open and transparent, but from the authentic self? Because ideally, we want to just take responsibility, but from our authentic self. So what's blocking it? Those emotions, those beliefs I can't trust, the emotions of anger, sadness, jealousy, fear. Fear is a massive one from taking steps forward because you're so scared. And we'll get to that one in a second. Or maybe I'll get to that one right now. Yeah, I'm going to get to that one right now. So I guess like the next one. So number one, can a marriage be saved? We got to figure out what is the problem? So identify the problem. Why do we want to even save it? Number two, do you want to fix it? Do you want to give it one more try? Like, are you in? So we know the problem. We know what the good things are. Do you want to fix it? Number three, what responsibility are you going to play and what's blocking you from that responsibility? So can a marriage be saved? Yeah, I'm willing to take responsibility. Yes, I want to fix it. Yes, I see the problems. I also see the reasons why. Number four, are you in the present, past, or future? And so, like I said, we want to wake up every day. Today I choose my marriage. Today I choose my marriage. We don't want to go to the past because the past, like he did this to me, so I don't think I can save my marriage because he did this. He's going to do it again, which then takes us to the future. He's going to do it again. We got to stay right here. We don't want to play ping pong between he did this in the past, now he's going to do it in the future. He did it in the past, he's going to do it in the future. We got to stay right now. Today I choose my marriage. So that's another thing that can really like block you from wanting to save your marriage because you're making decisions from the past or making decisions from the potential fear of the future and what could happen again. So back to right now. So those are the four things. And then we have a fifth. Fifth is finding the solution. Like, so can a marriage be saved? Yeah. Yes, I see the problem. Yes, I see why. Yes, I see I want to fix it. Yes, I see my responsibility and what's blocking me from moving forward. I'm working on that. Number four, I see which voice I'm taking on. It's a present voice or is it a fearful of the future, fearful that's going to happen from the past? So then it's really like, okay, I see all that stuff. Now, how do we fix it? That's the big one. So can a marriage be saved? What is the solution to fixing it? And ideally, we want both of you in on board doing something actively. A lot of my clients, it's not the case. They come to me because they're like, he says he's working on it. I kind of see some changes, but I'm in a lot of pain too. And he won't go to couples counseling. Couples counseling has a place, but my personal belief is that couples, you each need to do individual work, or at least one of you needs to do some individual work. And what I mean by individual work is we really got to unpack the pain of all this, right? We said the foundation of your marriage is cracked. We said the foundation of you can even be cracked. You're like, what role did I play in this? Am I enough? Am I even lovable? Who am I? Like sometimes it rocks you to such a core that you start to second guess who you even are. So that's why we have to get ourselves on a solid foundation. Like we have to have both, ideally to have a strong marriage, both couples need to be very strong in themselves to be able to come together. So we need to at least get you back on a solid foundation. So individual work for both is ideal, then couples counseling. But if he won't go to counseling right now, that's a whole nother story, why he won't go to counseling. But if he won't go, then you got to do the work. Like you said, I want to give my marriage one more go. I see the problems, I see why I want it, and I will take responsibility for my part. So regardless of what happens, I know I've done everything possible in my power and I can live with that. I've asked every question, I've done everything within myself so that I know I've shown up the best I possibly can for this marriage. And so within that, you need to also set realistic expectations when it comes to finding the solution. So as you're working on this, you find a solution, you're either doing couples counseling individual, you're doing your own individual work. What are the expectations you're placing on this? And so when it comes to the expectations on can a marriage be saved, we all know this is silly. Like it's not an overnight fix, right? But you can make tremendous gains in even like 3 months, 90 days, you get massive gains. But what is it that you're doing to prevent disappointment? Because we're changing behaviors. Right now we're talking neuroscience here. We all have thoughts, which then produce emotions, which then produce behaviors. And those behaviors are what we call habits. 90% of the thoughts we had yesterday are the thoughts we're having today. 60,000 thoughts a day, especially for those overworking brains. And so we're trying to break behavior. So these expectations we set on fixing our marriage, we're breaking old habits, we're breaking old patterns. And to break those old patterns, we need to create different thoughts. And so if that different thought is like, especially for a husband who's like, he's just seeking out other validation. He's like, I'm not enough. And maybe he's not conscious of that thought that I'm not enough, but that's why he's seeking out that validation from someone else. He needs to work on changing that thought process, that he knows he's enough, that he can love himself from within, that he can give himself that own validation. So he's working on breaking old habits. He needs to learn to love himself too. And so we have to have this patience in rewiring our brain with these new supportive thoughts, which then create new actions. And same with yourself. If you're thinking, I can't trust, I can't trust, I can't trust, it's going to create deep fear, which will then create the action of wanting to check his phone, panic, wondering where he is. Those behaviors also need to change. So we need to set healthy expectations on when this change is going to happen, depending on the solution you pick. Couples counseling, individual counseling, or taking a deep dive like I do with my strategies, which is very neuroscience, psychology based, where we just get right into the subconscious mind and just start to play with those limiting beliefs that we have, or those thoughts, to completely change them. I don't need to hear all the details, all the stories of when you got angry. I just need to know that you're angry and what was the thought that drove that anger. So when we set expectations that are realistic, we're not just in and out every day. Today I'm in, today I'm out. I'm a 10 out of 10 today. I'm a 0 to 10 wanting out to the next day. Realistic expectations keep us on the course. Today I choose my marriage. Today I'm working on this within myself. All right, so it can be hard to know where to turn, right? It can be really hard where to turn. And just as a real big recap here, can a marriage be saved? What's the problem? Okay, this is the problem. What's my reasoning for wanting to save it? Got it. Do I want to fix this? Do I see the problem? I see the reason. Do I want to fix it? Yes, I do. Am I willing to take my responsibility? And my responsibility isn't simple. It's really, I still have to work on healing myself, fixing my broken foundation, healing emotions, beliefs, the thoughts. And then from there, I need to figure out, am I in the present, or am I working in the past or the future? Am I focused on right now? Because a marriage can be saved in the present. A marriage can't be saved if you're looking at all the things that have happened in the past or all the fear of the future. And then from there, finding the solution. And like I just said, it can be difficult to know where to turn, what to do in these situations, especially if your husband won't go to counseling. So with that said, you know what, I'm going to suggest you comment below, DM if you're ready for a strategy that will work. Just send in all caps, ready, READY. And what my team will do is we'll simply ask you a couple questions. What's your biggest struggle right now? And we can give you some personalized strategies. What is your biggest struggle? What have you tried so far? Because if we know what you've tried, then we can give you a totally different strategy. And from there, we can start a conversation back and forth, and I can give you some tips there. All right, so that concludes our 5 signs or 5 ways to tell if a marriage can be saved. Send me a DM, a comment, any future trainings you want to hear about, any questions you have for me, because I'm going to hop on every Monday. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Put your comments below, DM below, and not DM below, DM, DM somewhere else, but put your comments below, thumbs up if you enjoyed this. And I'm thinking of all of you. I know it's really, really difficult what you're going through right now, but stay in the present. Keep journaling out those feelings if you're like, because that's one simple thing you can do is just brain dump. I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling angry, and then we just got to get ourselves back into like, okay, this is who I am. I'm working on my marriage. Today I choose my marriage. Today I choose to trust. All right. Love you all, and we'll chat soon. Bye.